YouTube family, what's good with you? It's your boy, 2A in LA, and as always, fam, anything I say in this episode, prior episodes, and future episodes is just my personal opinion. You shouldn't take it as fact. You shouldn't take it as law. Always do your own homework and come up with your own conclusions. Right about now, fam, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and tap that like button for your boy. All right. If you're new to the channel, fam, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and subscribe. I think you are going to enjoy the content. And if you don't, look, fam, no harm, no foul. You can always unsubscribe later, right? And if you're an existing subscriber, fam, you are my family. And I appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. All right, fam. So look, let's get this episode rolling. So if you guys saw that initial video, you'll know that we are talking about the Safelife Defense Full Dexterity Shooting Gloves, made by Safelife Defense. Fam, these gloves are fantastic. And I was going to do a video kind of reviewing the gloves, what my thoughts were and everything. And then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? If I tell you something is great, it really doesn't have any meaning unless you're comparing it to something. Correspondingly, if I tell you something is bad relative to what, right? So I have a variety of gloves that I have purchased and that I've used, and I felt like the conversation would be better spent if I kind of compared and contrasted some of these gloves so you know where Safelife fits in. And I'll start by saying every set of gloves up here are good gloves. I didn't get any trash gloves. All of these are good, solid gloves, but different. And so I thought I'd kind of walk you down the line relative to these gloves. So I'll start off with these. These are Magpul gloves. I'll put the name down there. I'll also put the price down there. Here's what I love about these Magpul gloves, okay? Uber comfortable, right? Some gloves you put on, and not just, you know, shooting gloves, just gloves in general. Some gloves you put on, you know that expression, fits like a glove. Some gloves don't fit like gloves, right? Some gloves are big and clunky, and maybe they need to be because they're providing protection against certain things, right? I'd say when you have shooting gloves and they're meant to be more tactical, one of the important things is the dexterity, your ability, right, to perform tasks while the gloves are on. And I'd find there's so many tasks. Sometimes you need to reach into a range bag and rifle through things to find what you need, right? If they're big and bulky and hard to grab things, it makes it more complex, right? Sometimes if they're big and bulky and you're trying to shoot like a pistol to try to fit in the trigger guard, right? Sometimes it can be problematic. Last thing you want is while you're trying to slip your finger in the trigger guard is have an accidental discharge, right? So that's a factor, right? With these, no issues with those things. These things are super comfortable, breathable, lightweight, and it almost feels like you're not even wearing a glove. Very, very comfortable. Arguably, maybe the most comfortable gloves on the table right now. Here is my one consideration I would make about these gloves, and then one thing that I don't like about the gloves. The one consideration is, look, to get something, oftentimes you're going to have to give something. And one of the things that you're going to give, oftentimes, if a glove is this comfortable and allows you all this dexterity, it is not going to stand wear and tear as well as something that is less flimsy. Not that these are flimsy gloves, but something that is less, if a glove has more material, more protective padding and that kind of thing, then it's the more of that you get, the less of that, kind of dexterity you're going to have. And so my one thing about these gloves is they will likely wear out faster than some of the others on the table. They are not cheap gloves, cheaply made gloves by any stretch of the imagination, and they should last you a good long time, but maybe not quite as long as some of the others. All right, so moving on, let's talk about these gloves. These are pig gloves, and then I'll put down the name of the specific glove because pig has a variety, and I'll put down the price of these, right? These gloves are really good. They're some of my favorite gloves. First of all, you can see that they have that black camo coloring to them. They make these in a variety of colors, and Pigs makes different styles as well. These, very similar to the Magpul, are very comfortable, easy to put on, comfortable in the hand, allows you to do a lot of function. The one thing I'll say about the Pig gloves is they feel maybe a little bit more durable than the Magpul. But the real thing that I didn't like about the Magpul, and I think I neglected to mention that, was that while the glove feels like you're not wearing any almost, they're so comfortable. One of the main things that I do, for better or worse, is I need to manipulate my cell phone. Because of the channel, a lot of times I may be using my cell phone as a recording device or a backup recording device. I need to manipulate it. Sometimes I'll be on the range and I have my Bluetooth headphones on. I might need to take a call. The Magpul doesn't have that tactile portion of the glove that allows you to manipulate your cell phone. Now, maybe other gloves by Magpul do, but these didn't come with that. And so be careful if that's something that's important to you. Make sure before you buy a Magpul glove that it has that feature. These Pig gloves comes with that feature, right? And again, I feel like they're very, very comfortable. Maybe even, I'd say in terms of how protective they are, how much protection you're going to get, maybe it's probably as much, maybe a little bit more than the Magpul. But the good thing about these gloves, are that, again, you can manipulate your cell phone to do whatever you need to do. I really, really like that about the Pig gloves. And this is why, up until recently, these were my go-to gloves. Now, again, if you shoot a lot, these gloves, because it gives you that fit like a glove feel, or fit like your hand feel in this case, they're gonna wear out sooner than later. I think they're very much probably like the Magpul. Every year or so, you're gonna have to buy a new set of gloves if you're running Pig gloves. But they don't break the bank, so maybe you're okay with that, right? And if you don't shoot a lot, they'll last you even longer. All right, let's talk about 511 Tactical. I feel like 511 Tactical is the hybrid between the Magpul and the Pig. That it has, these gloves have, they're attractive looking gloves, certainly. They have a little bit more rigidity to them. They're built up maybe a little bit better, probably would last you a little bit longer than the Magpul or the Pig. For that, though, they're a little bit bulkier. The fingers, again, provides you a little bit more protection, but they're a little bit thicker and, more, again, manipulating a trigger is a little bit more of a challenge with these gloves than with the Magpul or the Pig gloves. But I think they're a compromise between the two. Oh, and I will say you can utilize a cell phone with these, so that's good. I would say that between these three, these will probably last a little bit longer. Probably the least comfortable, though, of the three. Again, to give, you got to get. They're really good gloves, just a little bit more bulky than I would like. Okay, so that's the 511 Tactical. Now I'm going to get to the m-pact gloves. And again, I'll put the name and the price down below of the m-pact. So these gloves, I feel like, are really doing work, duty, battle gloves. I mean, you've got padding here, really thick padding all around the glove. Does have the feature so you can manipulate your cell phone on them. Here's the issue I have with them, really, is that, again, maybe if I was in law enforcement or in the military, I would want something like this. But for what I do, training mainly recreational shooting at the range or doing competition shooting, these are just too thick. Trying to get in and out of the trigger guard is a challenge. Plus, I got big hands. You know, that's the other piece of this, that a lot of times, you know, getting out of the trigger guard with no gloves on is not the easiest thing for me. So having something that really, really contours to the fingers and that is thin in the finger area is beneficial for me, right? Having something this thick is just a little too much for me. Maybe if I had tiny hands, it wouldn't impact me so much, but with my big paws, I feel like this is just extra. So I keep that in mind. But of all the gloves on the table, I'd probably say this is probably one of the most structurally solid gloves. Will probably last you a really long time. So that brings us to the Safelife defense gloves. And here's what I'll say about them. I think they are probably the best compromise of all the gloves that are on the table. The Safelife defense gloves are really, really well constructed. If you saw that video at the start, it is undeniable that these gloves have really, really solid construction and are built to last. They are, because they're well constructed, you get more padding in the fingers, and so they're not as, you know, comfortable or thin as, say, the pig gloves or the Magpul gloves. But they're probably better than the 511 Tactical, and yeah, they don't even compare to the m-pact from that perspective. They do have the capacity to be able to manipulate a cell phone, and that is so critical for me. They are loose enough, though, too, for me to grab whatever it is I need to grab out of my bag or move things around without feeling the need to have to take the gloves off and on. So I would say if you're looking for a really, really good all-around glove that's going to provide you good protection and good dexterity, Safelife Defense Glove is a glove that you should check out. If you're less concerned about the level of protection that the gun is going to provide, and you're more concerned about having some protection, but having protection that allows you to be 100% fully functional, then I would consider the pig gloves. Like I said, they were my go-to gloves before I got my Safelife defense gloves. They do have a more natural kind of feel, but they don't provide anywhere near the level of protection that you're going to get from the Safelife defense gloves, and they're going to wear out longer. So I guess it depends, you know, on what's most important to you. You know, the price differential isn't significant, but if you got to replace these every year and these will last you years, maybe it's worth giving up a little bit of you know, comfortability or lightness around the fingers for this level of protection. Now, the one criticism that I have about the Safelife defense glove, and I'm going to talk to my guys over there about this, is that if you know, like on a lot of my rigs, whether it's my chest rig, my battle belt, my plate carrier, or whatever, I oftentimes, when I'm not wearing my gloves, I like to attach them. And so most of these gloves you'll see come with attachments at the top of them. The pigs do, the Magpuls do, the 511 Tactical does, and so does the m-pact. Safelife Defense does. The Safelife Defense gloves don't have that attachment point, and so that part sucks. I got to talk to my guys, and I'm sure, you know, if enough people tell them, then they will add that feature. I'm sure they were much more focused in making, you know, probably one of the best quality gloves out there on the market. So I can't complain too much because they don't have the attachment. But I do think for a lot of people, that attachment is critical either to their job function or to how they go about training. So that would be my one suggestion to Safelife Defense, is to add, you know, the little loops on the top of the glove so they can be attached to a belt or a chest rig or a chest carrier or a plate carrier or whatever the case may be. All right. So look, fam, that's it, fam. So in conclusion, if you're looking for a glove that's going to really give you a fit like you don't have a glove on, but it's going to provide you a certain level of protection, consider the pig. If you're looking for kind of the best all-around gloves where, you know, super durable, will last you a long time, maybe a little bit more, you know, bulkier than the pig gloves, but provide a really, really good level of protection, consider Safelife Defense. If you're looking for something that's thin, feels like you're not wearing a glove, and you really aren't worried about manipulating a cell phone or anything like that, Magpul is good. The 511 Tactical are a kind of compromise between the Magpul and the pig, but I think if you're going to get these, you're better served getting the Safelife Defense glove. And if you need some real kick-ass knocking door down kind of gloves, then consider the m-pact. All right, that's it for this episode, fam. As always, and until next time, take care of one another and peace.